So over the past couple of videos, I have talked about some current NBA players such as LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, and Russell Westbrook, and just looked back at their careers and kind of analyzed where they are right now. But in today's video, we're not really going to do that. We're going to look at what this player has done this season and what they have the potential to do when the season resumes in the little bubble in Orlando, and that is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis coming into this season was given a lot of expectations after winning his first MVP and going to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in his career. A lot of people expected him to not only get to the finals, but to potentially win a championship, as last year he did go out pretty sad against the Toronto Raptors, as they basically built that box in the paint and forced him to shoot outside jumpers. And because that was the biggest weakness in Giannis' game, it basically became his Achilles heel, as they would lose that series in 6 games and losing 4 straight after going up 2-0 in the series. But this year Giannis has been incredible, and as I watch him play night in and night out, he has made tremendous strides in all aspects of his game. This season he's putting up averages of 30 points and 14 rebounds, dishing out 6 assists a game, shooting 55% from the field. And even as far as his jump shot goes, he is shooting just short of 31% from the 3-point line, which isn't the greatest percentage in the world, as we all know, but when you consider that he is taking a career high in nearly 5 attempts a game, it becomes more impressive that he at least has the confidence to take them. Ben Simmons, please take some notes. And even his mid-range jumper I think has been a little bit underrated, as he is shooting 42% from the mid-range area. So anybody that has watched Giannis play, and even when you just look at the numbers, you can see the improvement when it comes to his jumper. It isn't perfect by any means, but you can definitely see the improvement year in and year out. And I think the one thing about Giannis' game that everyone admires, myself included obviously, is his work ethic. I know I sound like Mike Karzimba when I say that, but every single year you can just see it in his game and his intensity when he plays on the court, that he plays with a fire to be better every single possession. And it isn't just an eye test thing, as every single year we question how is Giannis going to get better, and he consistently lives up to the expectations by doing so. Every single season of his career, he has achieved career highs in points and in rebounds. And I think that if you just take a look at a picture of Giannis when he entered the NBA versus what he looks like right now, you can obviously see that he has put in the work, the dedication, and the hustle to get better with each and every passing second. This is a guy that coming into the NBA was looked at as a project, and right now he is looked at as a candidate to become the face of the NBA once LeBron James falls off that cliff. But as it pertains to Giannis' season this year, I don't think people really understand just how historic it has been. Not only has he been elite on the offensive side of the ball, he has also been just as impactful defensively as well. And even the defensive metrics back that up. He is first in defensive win shares, and he also has a defensive box plus minus of 4.1, which is ranked 8th all time. He is at an all-time level defensively, and even when you just watch him play, he does things on that side of the ball that only a select handful players can do. He can legitimately guard positions 1 through 5, and that's shown due to his quickness to keep up with wings and perimeter players, and the strength to bang down low with the big man. And when you consider that the Bucks are probably the best defensive team in basketball and have a collection of great to good defenders at damn near every single position, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the catalyst for that team. And I think that when you look at the great defenders in the NBA, what separates them from all of the other good defenders in the league is their ability to elevate their defense to a new height, which I think Giannis is among those kind of players. For example, Rudy Gobert. As great as Rudy Gobert is on the defensive side of the ball, the Utah Jazz, let's just call a spade, they are a good defensive team even without Gobert, but they are not a great defensive team that was historically great, especially over the past 2 seasons. And it's because of Gobert's ability to elevate that team to that level. And the same applies to Giannis Antetokounmpo. And when you consider that he is in the running and in my opinion should be the favorite for the defensive player of the year, I think that he has a legitimate chance to not only win that award, but also the MVP. Now, for all the people that are saying that LeBron James should be the MVP, honestly, you should be ashamed of yourself. If a guy is putting up 30 points and 14 rebounds and leading his team that was on pace for 70 wins until he got hurt at the end of the season, that cost them 2 losses in that column, which, by the way, even if they don't get it, they will still have the best record in the NBA more than likely, then how can you not give him the MVP? This is a guy that is top 10 currently all time, at least for this season, in PER, defensive box plus minus, and box plus minus. He is first in win shares per 48. He is first in defensive win shares. He is also third in points per game and third in rebounds per game. Statistically, he is playing at a historic level, and if your argument for LeBron is that he's 35, that just doesn't make enough sense to me, because yes, he's playing great at 35, but there are other players that have played great at 35. Ever heard of the name Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or Karl Malone? All 3 of those guys have played great at that age, so stop acting like LeBron is the only one to play great at that point in time in his career. There have been other great players who have been able to do it, and it's still not enough to overshadow what Giannis is doing when it comes to how historic he's been this year. And I don't really want to hear Giannis Antetokounmpo's in the Eastern Conference, because at the end of the day, you play what's in front of you, and that argument was never used for LeBron James when he was winning MVPs and was 1 vote away from being unanimous, which we all agree that guy who voted for Carmelo Anthony to win the MVP, he is out of his mind. So if that was the mindset back then, let's not switch up all of a sudden because you want your narrative for your favorite player to win the MVP. Be consistent or just don't speak at all. It's very simple. But getting back to Giannis and how he can do the impossible this year, just think about what he's done already. This is a guy that has led his team to the best record in the NBA. He is not only playing at an MVP level, but at an all-time great level as well. And when you look at his impact on the defensive side of the ball, it's arguably greater than anyone in the league. So when it comes to the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, he just might as well be the favorite for both of those awards. And if he can capture both of them, he can and will put himself in all-time contention, because only 2 players in the history of the game of basketball have won MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and that was Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. And if Giannis does that, just think about what his resume will be by the end of the season. Even if he does not get a championship, he will be a 2-time MVP, a back-to-back MVP for that matter, a Defensive Player of the Year winner, also an All-NBA performer 4 different times, because I assume he will make the All-NBA first team, and he will make an All-NBA defensive team, giving him 3. He also has a Most Improved Player of the Year award if you want to throw that in there as well. So this guy will have reached all-time excellence at the highest level in multiple years of his career. And think about it, he's only 25 years old. At 25 years old, to compile that resume is already surpassing some other all-time greats. And where would you rank him at that point? Even if he's only 25 years old, that resume is already better than most players that have played in the history of the game of basketball. You would have to put him at least in the top 25 to 30 players of all time. And then think about if he gets a championship. Even if this whole Orlando thing is weird to you and you want to put an asterisk, a ring is a ring. A championship is a championship, because for sure people are still going to include this championship to LeBron's legacy if he wins. So why can't you do the same to anybody else? And when I look at Giannis this year, if he can get that finals MVP and that championship, he will have really nothing left to prove for the rest of his career. I will look at his career similar to what D Wade would have been had LeBron James not joined him in Miami. Because when you think about it, D Wade did not have to win a championship after what he did in 2006, especially considering how historically great he was in the Eastern Conference Finals and in the championship series against Dallas. And I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, but he shot a whole bunch of free throws. Well, let me tell you this, do people really care about that whole situation anymore? I mean, think about it. People don't really even talk about that anymore. The same thing will happen to this whole bubble situation of COVID-19 affecting the NBA postseason. So as far as I am concerned, Giannis has a legitimate shot to put himself in all-time great contention, in hell, even if he doesn't win the championship and he gets an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year, and that's where all of it ends, that will still put him in another realm of all-time greatness and excellence that very few players throughout NBA history have been able to reach. But that concludes this video, you guys. Let me know your opinions down below in the comment section. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a like down below so I can keep making fire content just like this. Follow me on Twitter. All of my social media links are in the description box. Y'all have a great day. I'm out. Peace.